Leslie Pogue, your Chief Happy Officer, here with another episode of The Positive Side of the Bad Stuff. Welcome. Today, there have been some things that have come up in the news that have been a little unsettling, and I feel like it's something that needs to be spoken on. Since I'm a small show and I didn't get permission from people to use their name or their likeness, I won't do that. However, we know the major issues. The first issue is the gentleman from Google who talked about how women are unsuited for tech jobs. I'll speak to that in just a moment. The second issue that I want to hit on today is about racism. Since our current president has taken office, there have been many, I know I'm choosing my words, and I don't really want to do that. You guys, I talk about being honest and speaking your truth, and the truth of the matter is what was interesting on some of the news clips, one in particular where I heard someone actually say that I'm surprised that this is happening in this day and age. I don't know why they're surprised, because racism hasn't gone away. It's barely submersive. It's still pretty prevalent, actually, if you are a person of color. However, even with that, there are so many layers that play into that. It's where you live, your education level, the people you're around, and so forth and so on. But bottom line is, what's surprising to me is that it's surprising to anyone that racism still exists. Yes, we have come a long way, and we have so much further to go. But what I want to leave with my audience today as it relates to racism is, who are you in that? I know as a person of color, we have racism and bigotry within the race. That has happened, that is not new, that has been going on since the brown bag. And those of you old enough to know what the brown bag test is, if you don't, then look it up. I'll tell you, actually. What the brown bag test is if someone came, if you had a friend or you had an intended partner or spouse, and you were presented, if you were darker than the brown bag, they would hold a brown bag next to your skin. If you were darker than the brown bag, then you were not accepted in that group because you were too dark. There are so many different levels of racism and bigotry and prejudice that go on, that for me to hear someone say that I'm surprised about that in this day and age is really a level of how much we try and just grin and bear it, I think. I don't want to say that person is ignorant, because I doubt that they are. I think that what we have become as a nation is a group of people who sit back and try to close our eyes and not think about the bad stuff, the boogeyman in the closet. But at the end of the day, every day that we live, we have to recognize our own truth and how we show up in the world. And at the end of the day, sometimes we show up as someone that someone else is against. Now, I bring that up because, and I rarely like to go into racial and political and these kinds of topics, because I like to keep it light. I actually like to keep it people focused. I want to focus on you, building you. But we're living in a very stressful time, and that's why I'm talking about this today. I want you to take a good look at yourself in the mirror, and here's again where I want you to hear your truth. I want you to speak your truth about how you really feel about yourself, the people you work with, about possibly being the only person of color in a room that has no color, how you feel about our current president. Regardless, whatever your view is, I won't state mine. I think you could probably guess. But I want you to really look at who you are in this world. And that's who I want you to be. I could sit back and worry about all the people who could want to lynch me, who could want to set me on fire or throw something through my window. I could sit back and think about all the people who through the years have said things derogatory, who have looked at me for whatever reason, my height, my color, my talent, my whatever it is. None of those things matter. I mean, they do in the world on a very small scale. And you should be cognizant of your surroundings and the people you surround yourself with and the people who are around you. Your neighborhood, your neighbors, the people who interact in your life. You should be cognizant of what you're up against. But aside from all that, what you need to focus on is you. What is your goal? What is your end game? What are you going after in this life? That truly is all that matters. It doesn't matter about the people who harbor hate and anger. That's for them to manage. It's for you to be aware of, but it's for them to manage. You have your own mission and your own purpose. And when you start spending so much time worrying about who likes you, who doesn't, who hates you, what could happen to you out in the world, that becomes very, very heavy. And it weighs you down. And it'll stop you from doing the things that you want to do, from possibly changing someone else's life. It changes how you raise your children. The future of tomorrow, the people who are going to run this country, it changes how you direct them. And you don't want to do that. Look within yourself and focus on who you are, what you believe, what your goals are, and let that be your driving force. I'm focused on changing a life. I'm a thought leader and someone who wants to leave this world a better place than I found it. Not only better than when I found it, but every single day. I want tomorrow to be better than it was today, and the day after that to be better than the day before. That is my focus. And that's what you need to remember when you go out into the world. What message do you want to leave? Do you want to get involved in some of that anger, some of that hate, and try and change it? I say dive in, but be cautious. Take care of you. We haven't gotten as far as we have if it wasn't for people like you, if you are one of those people who wants to dive in and march and yell and scream and fight to make things different. I'm choosing a different way to fight, but fighting nonetheless. This world is an amazing place, and whoever wants to sit here and say they want to bring America back to the great place it was doesn't really know how great it already is. We are the ones that built America. You are the ones that will continue to build America. And it doesn't matter if someone doesn't like the color of your skin, your spiritual belief, your gender, or your choice in this life. What matters is that every single day you walk into this world, it is your job to share your story. It is your job to be of service. It is your job to be the very best you that you can be. And that could be different every single day. I, of all people, know that. So with that, I want to leave that thought with you today. I didn't really touch on the piece about women not being suited for tech jobs. I think what I talked about with regard to race kind of covers that. Again, narrow-minded thinking only gets you so far. The idea of opening the conversation, there are ways to do that. I challenge you today to challenge the conversations that are going on out in the world that make anyone less than anything. There is an argument on either side, no matter how you view life. What's important is that you stand strong in your own beliefs, your own values, and your own purpose. With that, I say, until next time, go, be, do.